welcome back to my channel. If we haven't met before, my name is Shiv. Hello, if you're coming back then welcome. So in today's video I am playing with the Huda Beauty Ruby Obsessions palette plus a few bits and pieces of new makeup actually. It ended up turning into kind of like a full face of first impressions kind of video, but it's mainly focusing on the Huda Beauty Ruby Obsessions palette, which is new to my collection. Sneak peek, I'm obsessed. It's beautiful and I'm so excited to show you how I created this look. And let's just jump straight into the tutorial. I have to say it like that, and if you want to know why, watch the bloopers for the outtakes. Let's go. So I'm super excited to play with this palette. It's the Huda Beauty Ruby Obsessions. Bit of me, I absolutely love it with those dark red berry tones. I'm going to start off by taking this deep red burgundy shade and popping it right into the crease of my eye after applying a piece of tape to the outer corners of my eye for a nice sharp wing. I'm just going to go ahead and pack this onto my kind of wet concealer because I want this look to be really intense. I'm just taking it on a Sigma E25 blending brush. I'm going to go into the shadow, pat down the concealer a little bit just so it's not creasing too much, and then I'm just going to start by packing this into the crease and the outer corner of the eye. This is my first time using these little Obsession palettes. I have the old formulation of the Desert Dusk palette, but I don't know what her new formulations are like, but this is hella pigmented. Just wiggling that into the crease of my eye. It's gonna look good. No, what? It's gonna look bad before it looks good, just remember that. This is a really beautiful colour. It's almost like purpley berry colour. I don't know how to describe it. It's gorgeous. Where it's sticking to the concealer, it's going a little bit darker, which is good because it's nice and intense. Then I'm just going to start by smoothing out the eyeshadow, just going back and forth but trying not to blend it up too much. Then I'm just going to take this very pale matte pink shade right here and use this to set all of this area above the burgundy shade, just so when we apply the other shade later on it's going to be easier to blend out, just so it's not as sticky. But because it's matte, it's not going to really change the look too much. Now I'm going to go back into that dark berry shade and just re-intensify everything. Next shade that I'm going to take is this hot pink at the bottom of the palette right here, and I'm going to use that to blend just above the dark purple. And I'm using a Eva 227 Luxe Soft Definer brush. So I'm just going to start with the outer corner and just very gently kind of pat and blend above the dark berry colour. Doing this very gradually because if we kind of do it too rushed it will turn into a hot mess, and that's not the look that I'm going for. Oh, that's nice together. Then once you've kind of got the colour laid on there, then you can go in with a little bit more blending motions back and forth. Try not to go too high because I do want a little bit of brow bone in this look. This palette is so beautiful and I've only used 3 shades so far. I want to try the Emerald Obsessions as well, like the greeny blue one. I want to try the new neon ones, are really bad. These are so pretty. They're only £25 for like Huda Beauty shadows. That's so good. And then just going back in again with the dark berry shade just to redefine that crease. And then I'm just going back in with that really pale pink, just kind of like on the brow bone to help to blend it out a little bit more. And then just going back in with a brush that had the hot pink shade, just using it to blend that out one last time. Now I'm going to cut the crease using my Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage Concealer in the shade Almond. I'm just going to dot a little bit here, look up, and it will transfer across and then kind of draw it across. You'll see what I'm going to do because that makes absolutely no sense. So I'm just taking a flat synthetic brush like this one, applying a little bit of the concealer to the brush. Make sure the synthetic brush is nice and flat so we don't have any like mistakes going on. And then what I'm going to do is start from the inner corner of the eye, just apply a little bit of product, kind of look forward and look like upwards, and it will transfer across to the upper part of the crease, and that's where the cut crease should be. And then I'm just going to connect the line across and fill in the empty space. Taking my time with this though, because I don't want the crease to go too high. I'm going to leave the tiny outer little section right here empty. That's not going to have any shimmer on it. I'm just going to use that section to blend out the shimmer later on. Okay, I'm going to do one eye at a time because I really don't want to ruin this look. So for the first lid shade, I'm going to take the shadow right in the middle of the palette here, which is a beautiful like purpley pink shade. I'm going to pop that in probably about the 2/3 of the crease. The crease? What? Lid. 2/3 of the lid. And I'm going to take a damp MAC 242 brush to apply it. I have heard that a lot of the Huda Beauty shimmer shadows are best applied with your finger, but I want it to be nice and precise. Although I'm picking up a lot of product, which is always a good sign. Okay, I'm just going to pack that, oh my god, that is stunning, right on the inner 2/3 of the lid. Oh my god, that is such a gorgeous eyeshadow. And then for like this kind of teeny tiny outer section with the concealer on, I'm just going to take this shadow right here at the top of the palette and pop that on top there, kind of blending it into the other one as well. Then I'm just taking a little bit more of the berry shade and I'm just going to tap this on the outer corner just to soften it a little bit so it doesn't end so like abruptly. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and finish this on the other eye and I'll be right back. Next I'm going to apply my winged liner. I'm taking my Kat Von D tattoo liner to apply it. I'm just going to use the tape as a little guide as well, pin it back down to draw my wing.
Another day to live through.
Now I'm going to peel off the tape to hopefully reveal a nice straight sharp edge. Okay, we're all good, love that. For the waterline, I was going to pop on a black, but I think I want something a little bit softer. So I'm going to take this liner from Morphe. This is in the shade Trendsetter and it's a warm chocolatey brown, which I think will go quite nicely with this look. Oh, bit of ASMR for you. Oh, love that sound. I'm just going to pop that in at the waterline. Then for the lower lash line, I'm going to take a teeny bit of the darkest berry shade and use that to kind of smoke out the lower lash line. I probably will touch this up once I've got my face makeup on. So just to kind of get it going, so just running that underneath the lower lash line, trying to push it into where that little gap is between the waterline and the lower lash line. Not being afraid to kind of go quite blown out with this either. Then I'm going to blend it out with the hot pink shade. I'm just going to give my lashes a little curl. These are the Superdrug Rose Gold Eyelash Curlers for anyone interested. They're super cheap. They do the job, although I do feel like I need to invest in a more bougie pair of eyelash curlers. I feel like they hold it better when they're decent eyelash curlers, do you know what I mean? I'm just going to pop on my mascara now and I'm going to take the Revlon Volumizing Mascara. Then for lashes, I'm going to pop on these ones from Morphe. They are in the style Temptation. I'll be right back. So now lashes are on, now it's time to move on to the face. I'm going to take a new primer. This is the Revolution Pro Goddess Glow Primer, which is beautiful. It comes in this really nice like frosted glass. And I love the packaging. I just got this in the post, so thank you Revolution. Super excited to try it. But I'm just going to squeeze some into my hands and massage this into the skin. I'm guessing it's one of those nice illuminating primers. Ooh, first pump. Here we go. Ooh. I'm just going to warm this up in my fingers and then massage it in. Oh, I like the feel of this. It actually feels like a primer rather than like an illuminator. I like that actually. That's lovely. On to foundation, I'm going to take my Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. This is in the shade 3. I have just fake tanned, but you probably can't see it because it's developing, so I'm just hoping I don't look crazy because this is much paler than my fake tan shade. But I'm going to pop this on all over my skin using a Real Techniques Miracle Complexion sponge for a nice flawless finish. And this stuff is full coverage. Like, you cannot see my skin underneath it, and I quite like that sometimes. Then for concealer, I'm going to take my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the shade Light Neutral. And I'm going to pop this onto my chin, middle of the forehead, down the nose, and of course under the eyes, just to bring some light to the face. Then to blend it in, I'm going to take my sponge and just use dabbing motions. Next I'm going to try another new product. Probably going to blind you because it's completely mirrored packaging. I can't even like show you apart from that way, but this is the new Revolution Pro Hydramat Translucent Setting Powder with hyaluronic acid, which confused me because I don't understand how you can have hyaluronic acid in a powder, but we'll give it a go. So I'm going to use this to bake. I'm not going to leave it on for too long because it basically is like white powder. I don't want it to be too much of a cast, but I'm going to pop this on under my eyes, my chin, and just leave it for a little bit while I powder the rest of my face. So it has one of those like spongy seals to it. I'm just going to tap some off into the lid. Or like shake it. Okay, that's not working how I expected it to, so I might just have to go straight in to the powder. Oh my god. It's going everywhere. Okay, I'm just going to attempt to scoop some of this up and pop this on my chin. I don't think this is a powder for baking because I can't get off like a heavy amount to bake, so I'm just going to use this to set my whole face. Just as a heads up, don't eat it because it doesn't taste nice and it makes you cough. And rub this all over the skin to set it.
Probably worth noting to just say don't eat any of the makeup, not just this one specifically.
Well, the Too Faced peach powder tastes nice if you accidentally brush it across your lips. Just saying.
But don't. That's the moral of the story.
I'm so confused. So next up I'm going to contour using a new product. So I'm going to take the Roxasaurus Highlight and Contour Palette, which looks like this. It's in collaboration with Roxy from YouTube, so let's open it up and see what it looks like. So many mirrored products that I can't show you on the screen because it's just gonna blind you. Look, there's my ring light, there's my computer, there's all the mess. Look at that. Hey. So I'm probably gonna have to hold the palette like up like this so you can see it. Okay, I'm gonna contour with... See, immediately I want to take this one, which is the slightly warmer contour, which is still very dark, and I feel like it's going to be very pigmented, so I don't really want to use it, but I kind of do.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe mix them together?
No, do you know what? I am just going to attempt and be a bit crazy and try this shade and just hope it doesn't look too dark on my skin. So I'm going to take this one right here and use this to contour my face, under my cheekbones, under my jaw, down my nose, and on the tops of my forehead to add some nice shape to the face. And my main brushes are drying upstairs because I gave them a little bath earlier, so I'm going to take the Real Techniques Geo Fiber Contour Brush to contour my face. Okay, I'm just going in with a little bit of the product under my cheekbones, blending that up onto the temple, and I can see even the tiniest bit of product is very pigmented, so I'm just going to be very careful with this, really starting it towards the back of my cheek just so it looks a little bit more natural. Who are we kidding? Okay, and then I'm going to blend that on top of my forehead very gently. I'm not using a lot of product at all. Comes with a really good quality mirror though. That is the good thing about this palette. Right to the back of the ear. I think this would be really a good palette for someone who's got a bit of a deeper skin tone than me. Just because I feel like the contour shades are quite dark. Although this shade is still considered a contour shade, but it is a lot lighter, so maybe that would work, but not on my skin tone, so maybe someone very pale. I saw Sophie Does Nails use the highlight in this palette and it looked amazing, so I am going to try out the highlight later as well. For bronzer, I'm going to take my NYX matte bronzer in the shade medium and just bronze up the outer perimeters of my face in a little 3 shape and then across my nose for a nice little sun-kissed glow. And I'm taking my Sigma F25 tapered face brush, which is very well loved, as you can see. Then for blush, I'm going to take my NARS Deep Throat blush and pop this on my cheeks. Slightly dusting that across my cheeks. I feel like blush is such an underrated makeup product. It makes such a difference to your whole face. Now I'm just going to set this all into place using my Primark matte setting spray, which I've actually been really loving. I think it was only like £4 or something. Really good. So I'm going to give this a good shake and spray it all over my face. Then for highlight, I'm going to take this golden shade right here in the, oh hello, I can see you through the hinge, in the Roxasaurus contour palette. I'm just going to dump in this fan brush from Sigma and then pop it onto my cheekbones. And I'm just popping that onto my, oh that is intense. This is the wrong brush to apply that highlight with. Be right back. So the brush that I'm going to use instead is the Sigma High Cheekbone Highlighter brush. See if that makes a difference. Oh, okay, much better. Oh my god, this highlight is beautiful. Very shimmery, so if you don't like shimmery highlights you won't like this, but I love them. Pop that above the brow just because it looks pretty when you kind of like turn your head a bit. And I'm also going to pop a little bit on the tip of my nose, down the centre of my nose, above the lip. Then I'm also going to take a little pencil brush and pop this on the inner corners of my eyes. So now I'm going to pop some mascara on my lower lashes just to finish off the eye look. I'm just going to take the brush that had the hot pink shadow on it earlier and just quickly go under the lower lash line just to kind of like re-smoke it out a little bit. And then I'm going to pop the mascara on my lower lashes. I'm just going to pop some brow gel through my brows just to kind of get rid of any powder residue. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. And then for lips, I'm going to line them with Revlon Colorstay Lip Liner. This is in the shade Pink Rose. Then for lips, I'm going to take this Huda Beauty Liquid Matte in the shade Trophy Wife and pop this all over my lips to finish the look. And this is the finished makeup look using the Huda Beauty Ruby Obsessions palette. This is definitely going to be one of my go-to palettes. I absolutely love it. Just look at these shades, look how beautiful they are. I really want to play with this red and kind of like the peachy orange shade, as well as these goldy copper colours down, copper colours down here. They are absolutely gorgeous, and for £25 I really don't think that is bad at all. I absolutely love how this turned out. This is definitely a me kind of look with those like berry tones, the smokes, the glam. I love it. If you did enjoy watching this video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. It would mean the absolute world and I really do appreciate it, and I shall see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye! Let's just jump straight into the tutorial. And without further ado, let's just jump straight and without further ado, let's just dump.
Let's just dump. Who are you dumping?
No one. And without further ado, let's just jump straight in.
Do you want me to put up a oh, God damn it. Get me out of it.
Next, I'm going to take a Nicholas. Massive lashes from Morphe in the shade, they're not shades, this frosted glass packaging. It's so lovely and I look like, oh my god, What the fuck am I saying, Nick?
I don't know what I said. I'm trying not to distract you.
But you're staring at me.
I'm not, I'm playing my game. You've missed not having me in the room when you film.
Yeah, this isn't... I just ate it. So I'm just going to get this out of the packaging and have a little look and use what shade? Oh my god, I can't fucking talk. Okay, so this is what the palette looks like. Oh my god. Oh. And and then for my lips, I'm going to take this Huda Beauty Liquid Map.